You're good to go.
All right, we'll call May 8th highway meeting to order. Roll call. We have everyone here, and we got a new member, Dustin Shackleton here. Approval of minutes for the April 10th.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right. Any opposed? Motion passes. Public comment?
None.
None. Nothing from me this week. Staff reports.
Okay, we'll get started here. So going through the staff report here for our May 8th meeting. On the agenda, highway shop operations, equipment updates, engineering project updates, our 2024 maintenance and project list, quad axle trade-in discussion, 2024 Wisconsin County Highway Association Summer Road School Conference, 2024 financials, consideration for actions. We'll be going through some vouchers and purchase orders. And then at the end, a resolution for a budget adjustment for an LFA projects. I'll let Dan go first because Brent is not going to be here for shop field operations. He's got another meeting to attend, so I'll let Dan take it over for the shop.
Morning. Well, so far last month we did a lot of routine maintenance. We brought up pretty much everything that was left over in the winter storage down at the old buildings, old shop buildings. We brought that all out. We're working on that, getting it ready to go. On our 3 older trucks that we had on Wisconsin surplus, that sale ended last Tuesday. We had that 162, the old sign truck, chassis that had the bad motor. And we had the 150, the bucket truck that we replaced because of its age, being 33 years old. And then we had one triaxle, that 164 Mack. We wanted to try that to see, what kind of revenue we could get from them. All in all, it went pretty well. We got 2,000 on the old sign truck, which with a bad engine is, maybe could have got a little more, but that went kind of low. But anyway, the bucket truck sold for $10,525. We were thinking, I think we had 10 in the budget, and we weren't sure if we're going to get that much or not, and we got more than that. So that was good. The triaxle truck, we received 41,000 on that, and we kind of had 30,000 in our budget as far as what we thought we would get for them. So we went way above, that expectation, which is really good.
What year was that?
The Mack was a 2006.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's 19 years old.
Yeah.
We still have 3 of those left that we were planning on selling, but we're a little bit on hold yet because of the fact that our new trucks are taking so long to get here.
You say the market's hot. You should get them out there quick.
The market is good. The only issue we have is we also use these trucks for hauling.
No, I
hauling in the summer, and not that we couldn't get by, but you're right. The market is good right now and everything. The guys removed all the wings and sanders from the triaxles. We still have the power lifts on just in case. Also, going back to the new trucks, the 209 truck that we had down at Universal is scheduled to be hopefully here next week. They finished it. It has to go to International. It has a right front airbag leak. That's a airbag assist where the wing goes to help hold put the wing on it. So they're going to repair that and get it to us.
So this is the truck that is replacing the one you just sold?
No, actually, we traded in 2 trucks. We traded in truck number 147 and 149, which was tandem axles. We had planned to trade 4 of them in, and And so those 2 tandems have been traded in for these 2 tandems. So we actually sold a truck that we're not currently replacing.
Okay.
So we're selling these basically because of the age on them. And, you know, I'm trying to get some equity out of them before they're not worth anything.
Yep.
That's what we're looking at, trying to help the budget, you know, to buy the new ones.
So these trucks that we are getting like 19 years old, are they undercoated? Because they are like a lot of like wintertime out in the salt and that, does that help,
Yeah,
would
no,
that pay for itself?
not, probably not. These were not undercoated. One thing back in that age too, they always put double frames in them, which is kind of bad because the salt gets between the flanges on the double frame and it has a tendency to push. And if you wait too long, it'll push hard enough that it'll actually crack the frame. So you want to make sure that you get them rolled out before that happens. All the new ones now are coming with a stronger single frame, so we don't have to worry about that situation.
So I wonder if there is something you can spray in between those, so, like, have you tried anything like that, like spraying some type of gasoline or something like that between those to?
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't tried anything. I know they're coated with the frame paint or whatever before they put them together, but I don't know. You're gonna have to do it, I think, before you made them together. I would think to, put something in there, but if we trade them like we'd like to, at least every 10 years for sure, we wouldn't have to worry about it. But now we don't have to worry about it because they're single frame, so
Okay.
we've gotten over that barrier. All of the John Deere track skid steers were traded out, finished that last week, and we received all the new ones. We are gonna, probably tomorrow or first of next week, we'll be trading out that mini excavator, the John Deere 60, for a new one, and then that's gonna be all new machines in for another year. And they did honor the same price as before, so that we're in good for that for another year. We are currently in process of hydroblasting our fuel system tanks out there, and we're gonna repaint them. We were gonna repaint them last year in the fall, but we ran out of time. So we're getting it done right now. Hopefully we'll finish up the end of this week or next week, first part of next week.
And the state actually came in last week and inspected our fuel islands. So this they had an order that we needed to repaint them, because there's rust stains forming, which is unfortunate. They're only 7 years old. Yeah, that kind of escalated our timeline to get them done. They gave us 15 days to get it done. So,
Yeah.
And these are not the ones you were talking about replacing at all?
No.
These are the ones out here?
These are our
this system is only, like you said, 7 years old. And really it was just rust stains on the side of the tanks. It didn't look good, it wasn't rusting. I mean, you could wipe it off they were rusting on the top, and then of course, with the rain and stuff, would drag it down.
Yep.
So, and of course, they're double wall tanks too, so they're not by any means rusted real bad.
Yeah, I get the stain on mine.
But he wanted us to get it done immediately. So we are, and we needed to do it anyway, and we were planning on doing it. We had the paint and everything. We just, like I said, we just ran out of time. But we're getting it done right now. We did have been sending out for some price quotes for equipment for a couple plow trucks, to see if we could possibly think about building a couple here. I don't know if we ever brought that up or not. We're currently going to receive, we're still waiting on 6 trucks. We had ordered 4 2 years ago and 4 the year after that, and now we only have 2 so far out of those 8, so it's taken forever. We're supposed to receive 3 more, right? He said in June, I believe, chassis. Well, we had a contract with Universal to put the equipment on back 2 years ago, or year and a half, anyway. And they're gonna honor the price that, these 2 are the 2 that they're finishing up right now, and they're still gonna honor the price for the next 2. But they're not planning on getting them in until probably December 31st. So that's a whole nother year that we've lost. And that's why we were, maybe hoping to be able to build a couple of them here, so at least we would have them for next year's winter. But these, the cabin chassis have really moved things up here bad.
Do you have to build those from scratch, or they come in kind of, you just build some holes in it and kind of put them together?
It's like a kit.
You know,
Oh, there's a kit.
you just order all the equipment, all the electronics, and then you put it all together, and then of course
Okay.
build all your hydraulic hoses. Yeah, but you know, the pieces of equipment come in individually.
But there's no
buy it all together.
fabrication to speak of the equipment, you just put it together.
The mounting plates and all that stuff
Yeah.
you'd have to fabricate.
There's still some fabricating,
Okay.
you know, because it's not kind of one fits all type thing. You know, the main part of the brackets are there, but you still have to, you know, be able to attach them to the truck. And a lot of times you have to make special mounts or special brackets to do that with.
Can you buy the equipment from like, Universal?
That's one of them that we're getting, we did get a price from Universal.
Okay.
And we did get a price from next door here over at Indian Head for equipment. And we just received one from Indian Head yesterday, and we're just currently looking at it, you know, and maybe next month or something, we could, I don't know, talk about more or whatever.
So you're saying over there, a kit from over there, or you're saying having them build one?
Just the equipment, just buying the box and the under body scraper, the wings, the front plow, the sander, you know, and then we'll put it all together.
Are you getting a price to have them install it?
No. And we're not getting price to install it on here because of the time factor.
But I mean, if they could do it sooner, would that be an option? Or I mean, I'm wondering.
That's something we would have to discuss, I guess.
They've always been higher price, I know, that's why.
To be honest, we've had issues with them
Okay.
in the past fabricating their trucks.
Yeah.
And we've had to go back and redo it ourselves.
Okay.
So unless that changes, it doesn't pay for us to take it there.
Understood.
It seems like we're doing it ourselves anyway. So,
How long ago was that? How long ago did you have problems?
2 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. We got 2 trucks done.
Well, I know they had some issues
You know,
at the end of.
but we've, you know, and we've had some in the past before that too, but it's, yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, this is something that we would want to do ourselves because of the way that we want to do it.
You feel comfortable then with, current staff being able to handle the workload of putting a kit together and I call them a kit because I've watched my relatives put Peterbilt trucks together, the overrun trucks, in the kit system, but you feel comfortable where they can keep up with the demand of, I know every day can be different, I get that part of it, but just kind of a normal year would be all right.
I would think so.
You're not gonna stretch the staff out or.
I don't feel that's an issue.
Okay.
And we have 2 really great welder fabricators here.
Yeah.
That, they know what they're doing. And,
Yeah.
and one of them is we built 3 trucks here
Yeah, I'm not,
quite a few years ago, and
I
they
wasn't
did really
concerned
good
about
with
their
those.
skill ability, I was just curious. if,
No, I understand,
Or,
So how long would it take them to build it, and if you had all the parts here and that?
I guess I would estimate probably 3 months.
sure,
Okay.
But that's because a lot of times I'm sure I'm gonna interrupt them to have them work on other stuff
Yeah.
too. It's not gonna be,
You won't have all day to work on it, it'll be just part of the,
some days, yes, maybe, and some days not, just depending on what the workload is like,
Yeah.
And what happens out in the road, if we have
Emergencies do
unexpected-
come up.
I mean, the biggest benefit for it is we'd be saving quite a bit of money.
yeah, no
Since
doubt.
we'd be already paying the employee
right.
regardless of what they're working on.
so is that something that if we have to buy some special equipment, it might be a good idea to do? Maybe in the future, like just try to do it ourselves all the time,
In a perfect world,
in a perfect world,
We, and when we do have, a plasma table and we've got frame drill and,
Okay,
we have all the tools.
Yeah, probably one of your biggest issues, I'm guessing, sometimes is space, because they
That's
tie
the
up,
big
they
issue.
tie up space because they're not mobile.
That's the big
You
issue.
know, you're gonna have to be positioned in a spot where they're gonna be there for the majority of that 3 months.
That's
A
right.
lot of the new facilities like Eau Claire and all that, they have a separate
Bay,
bay.
yeah.
for
Yeah,
these.
St. Croix, who was up at St. Croix?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen the big shop that they have just
Oh,
for
beautiful.
fabricating, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, they have a separate welding fabricating shop
I mean, that was,
in a perfect world.
in perfect world, we'd had that.
You know, with the COVID and stuff that's went on, it's backed up, you know, the bodybuilders so much.
Yeah,
And then again, without the cab and chassis showing up, you know, it's just got everything so bad.
yeah, we're ways behind in the
They're-
world.
I mean, our big issue is if we get 6 trucks this year, they're gonna be sitting to get fabricated, because right now, 2 of them are scheduled for December. And we'd have 4 other chassis that are just gonna be sitting here doing nothing.
Right.
You need
So,
them for snow plowing.
yeah,
Yeah, just to swap out our old ones and bring new ones. I mean, we've spent a lot of money on our old trucks all last year for the fact, you know, we had to keep them going and, you know, for them to plow all year. Of course, we didn't use them a lot.
Didn't use them much.
But we had to invest that money in,
Yeah,
we wouldn't have had to if we would've got these new trucks on time, you know, and then also these trucks, you know, the 3 of them are traded in, but there's 4 other ones that are not, you know, and those trucks are getting older and depreciated
Right.
too, so we're losing on both
Losing
ends.
both ends.
And that's not helpful.
That's why I brought up my thing about those other trucks earlier, you know, when with the one you sold and the price, you know, getting a good price, it's like, oh, there must be an interest out there for those trucks right now, and maybe now's the time to dump them and try to make but
Well,
I get the
Well,
dynamic.
It's
where
spring there, everybody wants a dump truck
Yeah,
in the summer.
and,
so
and
it's-
we were
Yeah.
planning on putting a couple more on right away. Sure. I mean, our discussion was whether we should sell them. This one here, we kept the plow equipment, you know, and whether we should sell them that way or whether we should sell them with the plow equipment on. So we might try one with the plow equipment on it.
Mhm.
You know, but a lot of the contractors are just looking for a bare truck and
Dirt truck, yeah.
you know.
See if it brings any more is what you're gonna try and do.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, you
Get them
know,
one at a time, probably.
it's nice to do one at a time so they don't have a choice.
Correct.
You know, if there's a couple of them, then they, you know,
I would agree.
you don't get the battle over them.
Right.
You know.
So when you get a brand new truck, does the box come with it? Is that part of the deal, or you have to,
That's part of the.
that's
equipment.
part of the fabricating portion.
or you gonna build a box too?
No,
No, you'd order
You just,
that.
that's what I mean.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the box comes.
Gotta
Yeah,
install
we-
it.
And that's no big deal, like for time wise, box you can get pretty easily.
That's
Or
what
sitting
I was
on
just
the
gonna ask, what's the
yard.
time frame on getting all that, like a kit to put that together?
16 weeks is what we were told,
16 weeks?
you know, and that's also for that was for the box, but also for the hydraulics and electronics from Force America.
So sooner the better.
The sooner the better.
So next month, that's one of the big items. Okay.
It really is. We need to make a decision soon, you know, if we're gonna do it, because it'd be pretty sad to have 6 trucks sitting here.
That's not on the
Chassis.
agenda today, right? Okay, yeah, so next month, okay.
How many are you thinking about building? Like 2 of them you guys would do?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking was 2. And we were hoping, I guess, to set them side by side, so if you make 1 bracket, you make 2.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Try to speed the process up.
It's faster. Yeah. All right, thanks.
Okay, I'm just gonna give you an update last month on the fuel we used. We used 2,200 gallons of gas, 10,000 gallons of diesel fuel. Compared to last year, the same month, we used 2,000 gas, which is about the same. But we used 12,000 gallon diesel, so we saved a couple of thousand gallons of diesel fuel this past month. We did bring out the underbody wash again and got it hooked up, and the guys are using it. You know, with the weather, we could have used it over the winter time, but that's back up in operation. So that's pretty much what's going on in the shop, I guess. If you have any questions or anything, Dustin, your question?
Sounds good.
And you can always stop out when you're done if you want to tour the shop or look stuff over, you're more than welcome.
Appreciate it.
Or anybody's, but yeah, so.
But one of the good things about being a nice winter is like we drive around the county and see all the brushing that's been done. That's unbelievable. They covered a lot of ground. It really looks
It
nice.
was much needed.
Yes.
Thanks,
So if you're
man.
done, I'll go into the field operations, just give you an update on that. So we did some shoulder maintenance by adding some lime rock base to our shoulders. In particular, County Road E, H, C, double E, B, and double B and D. You get to a point where you can only reclaim so much shoulders, and lime rock breaks down and turns into sand, and it's all out in the ditches. So we're looking at trying to do operations like this every spring, where we start putting some base down on these shoulders before the asphalt starts breaking off. Crack filling operations has started, so we've started doing that. In particular, we've tried to address our roads that we're going to be seal coating this summer. Start with that, and then we will expand out from there. Spray patching potholes, obviously throughout the county. We got 2 trucks up and running, and they're, I don't know where they are today, but they're out and about. And then we did start a little bit last week and this week for spraying our invasive weeds and applying our growth inhibitor of the ditches to help reduce the mowing costs. We are looking at the possibility of doing some wicking in the late summer, early fall, where you basically go and take a tube and it's got little ropes hanging down or whatever, and just kind of wicking some of that taller prairie grasses that grow up. So we stunt and we kill off the invasives, but then all of a sudden the prairie grasses start coming through that are 6 feet tall. So we're looking at trying to just kind of level that off to help reduce our overall costs. Very minimal cost. Obviously the biggest cost into this spraying is the chemical or the herbicides. But overall, it's a huge reduction in mowing operation costs, so.
So is that done with a tractor or with a pickup or a regular truck, that wicking? How is
Yeah,
that
so
attached?
we would be doing it on like a pickup truck or
Okay.
the same truck that goes and sprays the herbicides. And from what I was told, to do that, we might only need 10 gallons of material just to do the whole county.
Yeah, it doesn't take
It
much.
doesn't take a whole lot, so.
It's really efficient.
And obviously, if you've driven into the city here, between the Judicial and Government Center, we did start the pedestrian trail. That's going very well. We have been bringing in quite a bit of fill materials, sand materials, because there's a lot of clays and black dirts out there. And we expected that. But yeah, we are running into a little bit more of it in front of the Government Center. I think there's about 3 foot of black dirt
Mm.
I need
basically
some
in
in my
there.
yard. If you wanna make a little pile somewhere, I'll come get it.
Yeah, we're looking at trying to wrap that up here. Weather permitting, I think we should be done trying to get all the base and stuff probably by next week. I have touched base with Monarch, who has a paver that paves those bike trails, because we're only paving at 8 feet. And I think if we get our big highway paver on there, we're gonna bury it. So it's a lot smaller paver. They would provide the operator, but then we would have the guys on the screed and trucking it and all that.
Because I thought I seen out by the jail, you were on that trail, they're doing cement. Would that be like Menominee, the city of Menominee, or is that like Dunn County's responsibility? Is, well, right on Stokey Road, you were
Yeah,
working on
gravel
that.
there now.
I thought they're putting some kind of cement there.
So where the Judicial Center is, the
Yeah.
entrance is coming to the Judicial Center, we're gonna be putting concrete handicap heads
Okay.
coming up for probably what, 20
Just-
feet?
It's just
10 feet?
8 feet, yeah, 10 feet
Yeah.
from the curb.
So we will be doing that. I don't think they've started that yet.
No, they just got the gravel down right now.
Yeah, so we will be doing that. Yeah, we are coming up with an agreement, who's responsible for maintaining it and whatnot. As far as I know, the county's gonna be, but just giving an easement for the city to access it, if need be, so.
We talked about adding some concrete sidewalk connections to the Dunn County buildings from the bike trail, but
Oh, okay.
the bike trail is all asphalt.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, it's coming along pretty good. Just, we need drier weather to do it. Well, obviously, there's some pictures of it, of the whole operation. That basically concludes the highway and shop operations. Dan spoke about most of this regarding our equipment already. Obviously, the skid steer's been delivered. We sold some equipment on Wisconsin surplus. The unfortunate thing is, obviously, if you can see on the bottom picture there, one of the trucks that was ordered in 2022 to be delivered in 2023 obviously hasn't gotten here yet. Well,
That's why.
it was in transport in Texas, and that's what it looks like. Nobody knows the full details of what happened. I don't know if it was a piggyback issue where they were hauling multiple ones and the one in the back fell off. Nobody knows. So the truck has been reordered, put into production. What I was told as of last week, it's an unknown timeline, but if I had to guess, it's going to be pushed out into the fall before they will build it. It's unfortunate. Nothing we can do about it, but it's delayed our process even longer. So, like Dan said, we have 2 of the 4 from last year. One is complete, the other one is universal, and we should have that any day now here. And then 3 more trucks have been put into production, and we should be seeing those here I would say in the next month, is what they tell us. So unfortunately, 3 trucks are in limbo right now, and it's probably going to be later this year. And what they're saying is due to transmission delays. So
Are all the trucks, international?
yes.
I think it'd be a lot easier just to have like the filter and everything else, similar, or do they change them from year to year a little bit?
So they're always changing something.
So you can't really.
But obviously, it's a lot easier if it's the same parts that go into the same brand. But when we bid them out, Universal is, not Universal, but International is the most cost effective. Unfortunately, we bid out some for next year in 2025, and the costs keep going higher and higher. So
So how many different places do you bid?
So we do Peterbilt's, Nuss over in Eau Claire, all of them.
Okay.
I don't know how to.
So it does go
explain
out to all of them though?
Was that?
It does go out to all of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, and we did receive the bids. I didn't put it into this month's. I'm gonna do it next month, because they came in pretty late. So like I said, right now, we can't even order a truck for next year anyway until usually June or July before they'll actually put them in the order process.
There's 4 or 5 different companies that bid.
Yeah, I think we had five different bids, which preliminary looks like they went up about $30,000. The same truck. Any questions before we go on to the engineering and project updates? But more information on it next month's meeting on the equipment stuff. We'll go through some of the engineering projects. I don't have a whole lot to update you on the County Road D project from 420th to K. That's by basically the Irvington Hill. We'll be looking at final plans here very, very shortly. That project is 80% funded by the state and 20% funded locally. We will be probably going to a change management request for additional funds on that. Due to the cost of road construction has skyrocketed basically from when we got application funding for this 3 years ago. So
that's just from 420 at the top of the hill to K.
So it's from the bottom of the Irvington Hill, 420th, right where the bridge is.
Okay. Yep, that 420.
All the way up to K.
Okay. Because 420 is on top of the hill too, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2
So
420s. Yep. Yeah, 420th Avenue and 420th Street.
They have 2 of them the same. It's like,
Yeah, I know.
Well, they don't meet up, it's like 420 goes here and they end up there.
Okay. And then give you an update on the B projects. So obviously you can see it's a madhouse out there. If you've been out to the 3M, or not 3M, but Badger Drive by Loves and whatnot, the railroad has come in. I'm very, very happy that they showed up and did their work. They replaced their rail, all their ballast, all the ties. They are looking at letting it settle out a little bit to get the trains on it before they start putting panels down. As well as they're looking at doing the cantilevers, all the signals and all that bases. They're looking at doing that, I think, starting today, and hopefully done by next week, Wednesday is what they're anticipating. Chippewa Concrete is looking at having basically everything from where you see it at Badger Drive north completed by June 3rd. So they can start bi-directional staging. So June 3rd, northbound lanes will be shut down. All the traffic will be on the southbound lanes. So northbound and southbound will be on the southbound lanes.
So they're anticipating that'd be open June 3rd.
June 3rd is the anticipated date to have be reopened. They're flying. Like I said, I believe they're pouring concrete. I think their plan is today from the tracks north, going northbound.
Yeah, they haven't had the best weather either.
No.
I'm sure.
Work a day, off a day, work a couple more days. But yeah, they're going to town on it. So the south portion of B, that got kind of delayed due to some issues with utility poles at the intersection of 3M, which is by Quick Trip. Poles needed to get relocated, which should have been done this winter, but unfortunately Excel took their, I don't want to say bad things about anybody, but they had delays on getting the materials and whatnot, and the contractor came in and they got it out, got the poles relocated as soon as they could. So I would say that project right now is what they're saying is about a week behind. So they came in today. Haas is the contractor on that, so they started work today to do some temporary widening at 3M. Getting all that done, and they'll be paving that Friday for the northbound, southbound staging. So a lot more work. I would say once June comes around, there's going to be a lot of chaos out there, even more. So hopefully we
won't be done by fall then, and is there a date?
So right now, the entire project is November 16th is the deadline.
Do they ever put anything in the contract if it's not done by a certain date? They get a penalty to
Yes.
kind of keep them focused?
Yes.
Okay.
And once they can get in there and start to work, I don't think it's gonna take long. It's all due to weather.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, they'll work Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, whatever they have to do to get on schedule, but yeah, the weather is the thing that delays them. I don't know if you wanna.
Yeah, some other engineering projects and work going on. County Road Z down by Oganelli. It's our last phase of that project. Once we're done with the bike trail here in the next week or two, crews will start moving down there with ditching and widening.
Yeah, so that June start date may be pushed up into May. So we'll see.
Yeah, it is moving pretty quick on the bike trail right now. County Road C, Muddy Creek Bridge is ongoing. They just closed that down a week ago. So there's a detour in place on J, and then going around into Menominee and then down E for that bridge replacement. But that'll be shut down for about 3 months. Completion in August for that bridge. The Colfax salt shed. As you see there in the corner, that's gray stone salt shed building. It's got concrete foundations, and then it's the tarp style, or what do you call the
Hoop style.
hoop style. Yep. So that we've had a couple meetings with them, gotten some excavation plans, and we're updating our site plan for that, where it's gonna go on the site, and then we'll go up and stake that this month, so we can excavate for the foundations, so their crews can come in and start pouring those foundation bases.
So are those things inside there, are those like the salt goes against them? Is there like an
Yeah.
interior? Okay. So they don't go up against the actual cement?
Not the foundations that
Okay,
the
okay,
hoop,
perfect.
The other
Sure.
side did.
right?
Okay,
And we decided to try this company, a little bit different style.
yeah, makes sense. That's, I mean, I couldn't see what it said there, and it looked like,
Yes.
Those are like
so it's
those
not
bunker
rotting out the
walls,
foundation.
right?
Yeah, so those walls are gonna be 10 feet tall.
Okay, perfect.
So those interior walls that you see, and they're precast, they all come in, they're Weezer precast panels that they
Look
just.
like a tall Jersey barrier or whatever. Okay.
So do you have to worry about the space in between those bunker walls and the side there? Seem like that could be just if they put too much salt in or whatever, they go over the top, you just have a little collection site between the two.
So when we had this designed, I requested the fill height of the salt to only be 7 foot. Instead of all the way up to the top, they usually do like a 9-foot fill height.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
we won't be
more-
filling that is all the way up to those tops.
Okay,
And it's kind of deceiving those piles that are in the ground, the foundations. There's only 4 of them on each side of the wall. There's 16 feet on center. So it's not a continuous wall, if that makes sense.
Okay,
So they're,
okay. I know what you're saying, yeah.
Yep. So obviously we can still get in there if salt goes over the top with a skid steer or
Yeah,
something
more
like
like a
that.
pillar.
Yes, it's a column. They're
Yeah,
columns every
columns.
16
Columns
foot.
was the word I was looking for, but.
Yep.
So. Just before the 94 entrance on 1229, down to 1 lane. Is that us doing that?
So
No,
that's a DOT project. What's gonna be installed there is a scale, like a virtual scale, for semis that are bypassing going on the interstate. And so they don't have to go on the scale on the interstate. So they're having a virtual scale there that will notify the state patrol at the scale house if a truck has bypassed it, so they can intercept them. That's the whole, we have nothing to do with it, so don't shoot the messenger.
no, I wasn't complaining about it, I just
Well, they
asking.
I kinda am. They pick a terrible time, like do that at the same time that this is tore up and you're trying to, no matter which way you go out here.
Yeah, that is kind of a pain, but
It's like,
So it's the same contractor doing all the work. So Chippewa Concrete is doing that and our B project, so that's why that's all kind of coordinated at the same time.
but there's no scale then per se out there on 12 then, it just let them know that truck's going. Didn't
Yeah,
go to the
I think
scale?
it's more of a
it's gonna be by
it's
the weight.
sensors
weight
and
of the
cameras and all that
Okay.
stuff. It'll notify them and then
Is it
we're
a
actually,
live scale, so they get a weight while they're driving?
yes,
Only-
It just may not be as accurate as a.
Okay.
correct. They're gonna have sensors in the concrete.
So is it just gonna be the one side? You know,
I honestly have not even seen the plan, so I don't know.
okay.
But I know
Assuming it is.
it takes a long time for that light to turn green when you're waiting there, because enough long enough distance for one, to go there, you just wait and wait and wait and nobody's coming, so you get kind of, why can't I go?
You can try.
Yeah, I know. Might not work out
And
good.
I came through there this morning and I see the pavers there ready to put
Yeah.
concrete down
Yeah.
today, so.
Yeah, I saw that last night.
so this might be a little preliminary, but I was approached by Justin at AirTech, about what could be done at the B and 25 intersection there.
Double B, 25?
Yeah, double,
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
There's been a lot of discussion there.
Well, and I assumed, he said, we end up being the first responders to that. He said, we've seen a ton, and his comment was, whether I agree or disagree, but he said, you know, something about, could there be a roundabout put in there because
brought it up a few times.
that would potentially, you know, that the accident that just happened could have been avoided, plenty others. I'm not necessarily
I
saying we
brought
need
that
to.
up at emergency services too, that there has to be something to slow people down. A roundabout slows everybody down, but they are gonna do some redesign. Dustin knows all about that in 2020.
2026,
26.
the state is actually redoing both double B intersections, by John Deere and AirTech there. They're not putting roundabouts in, they're gonna be doing turn lanes, and with a painted divided, median.
Okay.
They're looking at the no passing zones currently. They're currently looking at that. I don't know if they're gonna change anything. We did have a meeting jointly between the county and the city and the state, to discuss it. They just didn't have enough incidents, or traffic impacts that warranted a roundabout.
Yep.
Somebody needs to die.
Point blank, they
which
said,
there's-
unfortunately, you
Just
have to
what it
have
is.
more severe accidents.
Which they just had, which I'm not necessarily, I mean, I like roundabouts and I'm not necessarily in favor of it being there. I'm just trying to come to
The
a common
unfortunate
solution
thing
for-
is the last accident that occurred, the death there,
Yep,
they passed when they shouldn't have. So a
Correct.
roundabout went to solve that, maybe slowed it down.
well, so what I see happening is people coming down 25, they're like, oh, I'm gonna quick get out in front of them. Well, they don't necessarily give it, so then I'm assuming that's what that lady did. I don't even know for sure. But you're correct, shouldn't have passed there. It should be a no passing. But that's not necessarily gonna stop people from passing, because they're gonna get pissed off and go around.
But if they
So
had to slow down, they would have slowed down on a roundabout.
correct, a roundabout would have saved that life. And that's not necessarily the best spot for roundabouts. I'm not saying that's necessarily the way. I'm just saying that, I mean, it would have saved that life because they wouldn't have been able to go fast enough.
Correct me if I'm wrong though, Dustin, when we had that meeting, those incidents that happen out of the intersection don't actually count as an incident that happened
Correct.
in the intersection.
Which is the
So,
problem.
So
Which-
from the DOT's,
The data doesn't
Yeah.
support putting it in because of that,
yeah.
but that would solve the
Yeah.
problem.
And I think the state openly admits, like, this is the
So because,
algorithm we have to work with.
so because it's a state road, we can't just go and do our own thing.
I think the DOT didn't disagree that a roundabout would be a good solution, but it was more funding. They had some safety funding dollars
Yes,
for the
there's
improvements. they are
federal
doing.
dollars that they can get to do these type of projects, but it didn't warrant safety dollars because of the accidents.
So
There wasn't enough of them. Let's just
20
say
years
that.
ago when we started putting them in around here, when I worked at Madison Contractors, the number that was thrown out there was like $1 million to put in a roundabout. You have any idea what it is now?
I would say it's probably double that.
I assume.
I don't know what it is exactly, but they did, the DOT did have, the DOT did have a number.
They had
on
a
that.
number.
Depends on how much land they gotta buy and all that good stuff.
It was between 1 and 2 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I wanted to say 1.6. And the other part is when they use that funding, you're stuck. You can't do
Correct.
another thing in that intersection. Was it 10 years?
Correct.
Someone's got it.
Can they just change the speed limit? Would that make a big difference? Going from like 55 to 45?
The unfortunate thing is speed limits need to be enforced and they can't be there all the time.
Yeah, it's just like the
So
people
people-
passing on the turn lane. I mean, that's illegal, but nobody gets picked up for it. And that's the danger part of that whole thing. Where you're both going there and you're turning left, people are going behind you and you can't turn because you don't know if they're gonna stop or turn or what. I mean, it's a.
So the biggest, I think, incidences they had were rear ends. I
Mhm.
believe that's what a majority of them was. So with these turn lanes and stuff that they're gonna be doing, will improve that. And that's what they're.
Yeah, they're gonna have a center turn lane for turning left instead of.
Sure.
Instead of
I
people
still like a
using the,
roundabout.
instead of
I use
people
that thing
using
all
the
time,
right
too. I
lane that turns onto the other road to go around
that one.
the stuff car
Works
turning
in.
left.
In high school, there is bypass lane.
Yep.
If you can save somebody's life, I guess. It's
Mhm.
worth it. Because I go that way all the way. So
Yeah.
I would hate a roundabout there, but
Yeah.
I still think it over safety would be a good idea.
Cause there seems to be a lot of traffic that turns off, that goes on Double B to Cedar Falls or off from 25, get all that
There is.
late Tainer out in your area.
Well, a lot of them go down Cedar Falls Road just to avoid that freaking area too.
So one other thing I was gonna bring up that's bugged me for quite a while is when you go down the hill there and you're in a dump truck or a bigger truck, you cannot see to the left because there's that sign there. That is like, I'm constantly pulling out farther to try and see. A car, you can see under it, but a truck, you can't. And to me, that's,
We have mentioned that to the state, we have relocated, we've done everything. At the end of the day,
it's a state.
the location of these signs are per a federal regulation where you have to have them,
Mm.
heights and all that stuff, so we completely understand it, it's just,
Building
so if we
something right
move
there
it for
doesn't help
them, then we
either.
might restrict it for cars, and then trucks might be a different story, so.
Understood, I just thought, well, I'll bring it up because this is stuff I see.
Yep.
Traveling around.
Building there is just gonna make it worse as far as I'm concerned, but
What's that?
building those mini storages right there does not help that whole intersection. It's just harder to see.
Mhm.
Well,
Any other questions before we move on to,
To that field? Is that where they're building?
they're building right by Air Tech.
The air tech.
That
All
field
front
to
there.
the north there, Tech there?
yeah,
That
a
little-
whole bunch of mini storages in there.
Mhm.
I hadn't been that way for a while, so.
All right, move on.
So I just wanted to present, obviously Dustin's new, and I just a good refresher. But I just put together our 2024 maintenance and project list. So this is just a high level of our maintenance. I mean, that's traditionally, I mean, obviously we do shouldering, we do culverts and all that. I wasn't gonna get into details, but the biggest thing is our crack sealing and seal coating. That's where the big dollars are. There's the list of roads that we have for on our project list for crack sealing. We're doing approximately 51 miles, and then that is what's budgeted for it. Seal coating, we're doing approximately 23 miles, and that's the cost to do the seal coating process. The seal coating process is obviously we apply oil and then aggregate on top of it, that pea gravel. In a perfect world, we would be doubling that quantity for seal coating, but we're limited to what we got here, and I did reduce it from what we typically do just in this year's budget.
After you put the pea gravel on, then that, everything gets repainted, right?
Yes. Yeah, typically a couple weeks later,
Sure.
to let the aggregate come off.
Yep.
So this is our construction list. We have 7 projects that are slated. Obviously, 1 and 2 there are 2B projects. As you can see, that's taken up a large majority of our budget. All together here, I just put together, this may not include some engineering costs and all that, so $13.2 million just in road construction. We are receiving 6.8 of state and federal funding for these projects, which leaves us approximately 6.3 of local dollars to match this and to complete these projects. These are estimated costs for a lot of our stuff. The B projects are obviously contracted, so we have a contract dollar amount. But Z, H, M, W, and H, we do not, that's estimated based on our estimates. So it could come in less, could come in more, but we're hopefully it comes in at that cost or less. We are looking at starting some of this work here in June. Obviously, we did mention County Road Z, probably starting that as soon as the pedestrian sidewalk is completed. But we do have a pulverizer coming in to do some of these little pulverize and repave jobs like H by Elk Mound and M by Sand Creek. We're gonna look to see if we have the time to do H south of 85 with this first operation. Any questions on that?
Your local funding, is that about the same every year, your 6.3 million, or is it?
No, typically what I believe what our levy was this year was right around 4 million.
Yeah, it's 3.1 plus the
3.7 or somewhere around there. I don't remember what it was exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is.
If half that amount is local levy, where does the other half come from then? Because you said that would levy 3 something?
Dan's got the numbers.
I do have the numbers, but this is your construction cost.
This is just our construction costs.
There's
not
also
our
maintenance
maintenance.
that's part of that levy.
Yeah, like our winter maintenance and
okay.
all that stuff, that's totally separate. This is just pure construction.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.7. So yeah, so it's 3.7 for maintenance plus this.
Does that include the vehicle registration fees?
No,
Or is that?
That is just pure.
that's just
Pure
levy.
levy, okay.
So it doesn't include the 701 something.
Yeah.
780, right around there. I think it keeps going up.
780,000.
So if the local funding is quite a bit higher, does the other projects gotta suffer then? Because you have less money,
So
or
we-
I don't understand that quite.
So we carry forward some money from last year. I think it was I don't recall the number, just over $2 million. We budgeted for B.
Yeah.
That didn't take place, so we carry forward that money into 2024.
So that cuts it down quite a bit then,
Yeah,
the difference.
And it's primarily because of the County Road B
yes.
out here.
But I will be showing that. We're working on our 5-year plan, going through this, obviously. We have 425 miles of road. Typically a road lasts 20 years, so we should be doing 20 miles of road. Currently with our funding, we're only doing 10. So we're doing half of that. So what I've projected in the next 5 years is we would need to do 20 miles of road, we would need about $7 million a year. So obviously that information I will be providing going forward. Because like I said, right now, if we continue doing the $4 million, we're only gonna be doing 10, 12 miles of road each year. So we will have a 45-year lifespan for our road system, double what it should be.
So roads are getting bad out there. I can't believe how bad K's gotten this year again. North of 64, holy man.
Yep. So it all boils down to is where the money's gonna come from, but that's a bigger question of countywide, so.
So that, budget carried forward for County B, aren't the prices coming in cheaper, so we're actually, they're not making money, but not spending as much?
The 2B projects were bid out cheaper than what we had allocated for the funding, yes. And when I say cheap, not a whole lot, I mean.
But at least it didn't go
budgeted-
up, that's.
Yes, we budgeted 4 million and it came in at like 3.3. That's just the construction. Now we have engineering costs, which are another 200,000 on
You got
that.
an
So
engineer right here, right?
if all of his time was out to that, that'd be great, but he's got other work to do. And then last but not least is just our County Road C Muddy Creek Bridge. Obviously that is shut down and they're working on that right now to have it open up by August 8th is the deadline for that
So
project.
how big of a detour is it? Is it like a,
Quite long. What you
Quite
see in the
long.
green right there.
Oh.
Obviously,
that's a main road down there.
the locals know ways around.
Okay,
So Old C goes through Falls City, which I was down there the other day and that's where all the cars are going.
they
So,
kind of find out pretty quick, like out here on, by Cardinal Glass, they find out how to get around these detours pretty easy, pretty
yeah,
quickly.
but we're hoping semi traffic, the dump truck traffic, all that stuff takes our detour. That's what it's the biggest thing.
Mhm.
Because the town of Springbrook roads are not made for all that. I mean, it's,
No.
and I know that's where people are gonna go, but we can't stop that.
They have to do that if they want to stop.
And there's not a whole lot they can do. It's a
Well, they can put a weight-
public road.
When they put a
So,
weight
Wait,
restriction
there's
on
a,
it?
the
The
road
road from-
enforcing.
The Old C, which is the one that goes through Falls City,
Yeah,
they put a Class B restriction on that.
okay.
But, and then no truck traffic is, they have, so that's
People-
per an ordinance. But it all comes down to enforceability,
Yeah.
so.
That
Yeah.
detour is a few.
It's an inconvenience, but it'll be nice when it's all said and done. Any questions before we go on to the next item? So, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. So we have 5 quad axles that we were purchased in 2020. I don't know if some of you may have been here, some not. But we had 5 quad axles from previous and we elected to trade all 5 of those in for 2020 models. At that time, we did let's say it's a capital lease. We did a payment plan each year to roll these new trucks out. So we pay $100,000 per year to get 5 new quads, and it's basically like we're paying it off every year. We have an option this year going into 2025. We can either keep the existing trucks, we can trade them in and continue doing the payments through whatever, Santander, I think is the bank that International works with. Or we can sell and purchase these ourselves. We can go and put them on Wisconsin surplus, sell them and look at buying all 5. The concern I have is obviously we're still gonna have to borrow for that. We don't have the money to buy all 5 at once. Do we spread it out over a period of time? That's another option we can do. Obviously, the cheapest way of doing it right now is just to keep what we got, but option 1 is if we keep the existing. So I just wanted to put together this. So in 2020, we purchased those 5 quads for $184,000 a piece. We did not pay the whole $921,000. We got a $305,000 trade-in, and we're paying $100,000 a year. So basically, $500,000 is what we paid over this 5-year period. The caveat to that is if we keep these trucks, we have to pay a balloon payment in 2025. And that balloon payment is $155,000.
Per truck?
No, total for all 5 trucks.
Okay.
So the total allocated costs that we would have into these 5 trucks would be $655,823 that we have paid for those 5 trucks over a 5-year period.
Okay.
The current depreciated value of these trucks is $107,000. That's today, right now. So that's basically taking $184,000, 5 years of depreciation, that's what we're left with. I also put in there what we've put into these so far. Obviously, they're completely under warranty right now. And when I say warranty, that's your major parts and all that stuff. What we've stuck into it is about $77,000 worth of parts into these 5 trucks, labor $54,000, approximately $131,000. And parts are basically oil filters, oil, stuff like that. So on average, we're sticking in about $5,000 a year for each one of these trucks. Obviously, just replacing the oil costs money. You probably have $300 in oil. I don't know. I'm just guessing on what it is. So like I said, they've been good trucks. We've stuck about $5,000. But we have shown in the past, the longer you hold on to these, the more money you stick into them, obviously. Where that fine line is, we don't know. The DOT typically has a 10-year lifespan for these trucks. That is what they require us to have on the books, about 10 years. And then it'll be fully depreciated out. That's our first option. We can keep them, pay the balloon payment. That's the biggest thing to take from that is we would have to pay $155,000 in 2025. Option 2 is we can trade them in. As you can see, what the cost of a new quad axle truck is. $268,000 a piece versus $184,000 back 5 years ago. So you're looking at what, about $90,000?
But as you go,
Roughly 80,000.
you know, for that kind of price increase, then that should make the used trucks worth more too. Shouldn't it?
We would love that, but obviously they're in the market to make money.
Well,
So,
they are. I mean, they are worth more, but it's still,
so as you can see, the trade-in value, what they have given us, and they actually came in last week Friday because I said that was not good enough. So they originally offered us $105,000 a truck. And obviously our depreciated value is 107. So they came in actually last week, went through them. They've offered us 115,000 for these trucks. The caveat to
So that
this
number's
now,
changed, right?
yes, I have not reflected it, so it's 575.
550-ish, yeah.
And mind you, this
560.
option 2 are preliminary numbers. They don't really know what the cost of the new vehicle is gonna be, because these are gonna be 2025 miles. They haven't even put them in production, or they don't even have costs yet for them. They're guessing. So could it be higher? Could it be lower? We don't know, but he's saying that's a very good ballpark. If we go with option 2, the dealer pays that balloon payment. They pay that $155,000. That makes sense.
Okay.
Obviously, the cost of everything has gone up. Interest rates, that's going through the same bank that we currently are paying now. Santander Bank, I believe it's called. 2.5% all the way up to almost 6%. And then basically our balloon payment is we would be paying $150,000 per year going forward if we trade them in. And that number could go down to like 125,000 based on their different trade-ins, but I didn't have time to put the updated numbers in. And then as you can see, the balloon payment in 2030 would be almost $200,000 if we were to do this.
So one question, how long is that 2.5 interest rate in 2000 for the option 1? How long is that good for?
That's till we are done paying that balloon payment. Then
Oh.
everything is done. So we own these trucks.
Okay,
It's not like we lease them and then we paid all this money and they come and get them. It's not one of those.
so there's a big
So
difference in the interest rates. right there.
Absolutely. And that's based on the interest rate of when we got that through Santander, this quote, basically, I think it was about 3 weeks ago.
Hmm.
but we have to pay that balloon payment.
We had to pay the balloon payment to keep these trucks and do nothing with.
And
I thought you said that the dealership is gonna make that payment.
That's an
It-
option.
That's,
If we
Yeah.
go,
that's if we
go
do option 2 to trade them in.
Okay,
But if we keep these 5 quad axles, we have to pay the balloon payment. The
Right.
county does.
And we have 5-year-old vehicles then.
Correct. So my preliminary numbers that I've looked at, option 2, in my opinion, is thrown out the door. I don't like that option. I think if we were to explore doing all this ourselves, I think we would be better off. And that's where option 3 comes into place. If we were to literally pay the balloon payment, whatever, we got $655,000 invested in these trucks. If we were to go and buy 5 new quads all at once, I know this would create borrowing. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if we can do it. If we do 5, if we do 1, we do 3, we do 2, whatever number it is. I just took the number of what they were telling me for a brand new International, 268,000. I'm guessing we could get 130,000, if not more, if we sell these trucks outright ourselves. So if we put them on Wisconsin surplus, wherever the heck we got to put them on, I believe we could at a minimum get 130,000 for these quad axles. They're 5 years old, they're going to have right around 100,000 miles on them.
And they look good, but will we keep the equipment like the plow and that?
There's no plow equipment on it. These are strictly haul trucks.
Okay.
So we have 5 haul trucks. That's,
The ones that keep moving by here right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
Mhm.
Do I believe we could even maybe get more than 100,000? Yes, but we don't know that. So I'm just kind of ballparking a guess.
So, yeah, it'd be nice to do all 5 at one time, whenever, get them all the same. I understand that. Is there any chance of doing one of them fairly soon to see how the market is, so that way, or does that really because we don't want to throw 6 of these or 5 of them on.
The problem
At
I
the same
think we
time.
have is we're always using them. To do that is like really puts a wrinkle in our operations.
Okay, so then all 5 are relying on that. Okay.
And like I said, we as the county could explore what interest rates we can get. Like I said, I doubt it's 6%. I mean, on a county level, I doubt it. But I'm not saying that's what we're going to. As of right now, in my opinion, we either do option 1 or option 3, based on what I think is the best options for the county.
Yes.
So, like selling them, what would be your plan? Because obviously, I mean, you stick 5 of them out here, they're not gonna bring near what they would as you sell 1 every month or 1 every other month or whatever. You know, when you sell 1 a year, you're gonna bring more money than.
So right now, what we would do is we gotta explore the numbers on what it would cost to, and if we do this ourselves, we would literally just go, we would bid out the chassis. So that could be Mack, it could be Peterbilt, it could be Freightliner, it could be whatever, International. The problem I have right now is International is so, they have the upper arm in this whole situation because we're trading in Internationals, we're getting Internationals. I hate to say it, they can put any dollar amount they want on that new value. So if we were to bid this out, 268,000, maybe a Freightliner, maybe something else comes in at 240,000. We don't know. And that's completely outfitted. That is the chassis and box. So if we were looking at, Dan and I, we would put a bid out, we would put just the chassis, and then we would bid out the box and all the hydraulic assembly. And we would do that all internally here with our staff to roll those 5 new ones out. I'm not saying we can do all 5. Maybe we can't. Maybe we do 2 this year or 2 next year. Maybe we do 2 the after that, and maybe the last one
So you're
3
saying
years later.
buy the chassis and then take the box and stuff off the ones we got?
No.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say yes.
No, we would
Just
we would
assemble.
buy different boxes.
Okay, that's why I was wondering what you're thinking.
A box is right around $30,000.
That's not bad.
So that's where I'm saying that $268,000 to me is inflated. And right now, they can put any price they want on it.
Well, my thought would be, yeah, go ahead, bid those out and see where that actual number would be, what we can get them for.
And right now, I don't want to do that because like I said, it's a little early. They don't have the pricing quite yet.
Okay.
So I would wait a couple months, like July sometime to bid this stuff out. And that's what I'm saying is I want to explore every option we can. We already know what option 1 and option 2 are. It's the option 3 is kind of a.
So you're
Up
looking
in
at
the
selling
air.
this next year then?
The payment's not until next year. I mean, so really, this is,
If
Year or two down.
we trade them out, it would be next year. So I haven't seen it, but I got told that we can't go over 100,000 miles on them. It's like, okay, that doesn't make sense. We own them. You can't tell us what we can and can't do with them.
But if we do the balloon payment, that's not gonna
Yes.
affect.
The balloon payment we would have to pay in, I think it's March or April, when we typically pay our annual payment.
Yeah.
So that's where right now I have it in our CIP request for our equipment. I had $100,000 payment in there.
So option 3, we'd still do the balloon payment and then turn around and sell them.
Yes.
Right, okay. Yeah, I think that's the best option, and then
I
explore the options we can do.
like I said, I just wanted to have this discussion to show you what's coming down the.
Yeah,
the
option
line
2,
here.
I would say is out, but definitely do option 1 and then find out the options for 3. I mean,
Yeah, and obviously option 3 is all based on funding. I mean,
Right.
it's-
And worse come to worse, yeah, you do 2 at a time or whatever.
Correct.
That's where I'm at, thinking a
we
couple
just
of.
spread that out over a couple of years.
I personally don't like having all the trucks at the same age level. It's
Yeah.
kind of a pain in the butt.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, then you're in this boat again
Correct.
5 years from now, where all 5 of them have to get replaced, where if you can do 2
And at the end of the
next year,
day,
2 the year after, half a year or whatever.
we don't have to replace these. They're in good condition.
I'm just gonna say that too. We can look at
We can
options,
keep
but.
these for another 5 years and explore 5 years down the road yet.
Right.
And that's. the
That
other
would
option,
probably be
doing
the
2 at a
best
time.
cost-effective approach right now.
Yeah.
If I was to look at this, that would be the easiest cost-effective is we pay the balloon payment, they're ours, done.
Yeah,
We wash our hands of it, walk away, and
and then we decide.
we
I would
Well, and the
explore
thing
what
of it
we
is, from what I've noticed on dump trucks and stuff like that, they're at the point where they've lost as much as they're gonna in another 5 years. I mean, not that I'm not for getting new equipment, but I mean, in the next 5 years, you get 150 on them. They're still probably gonna be bringing that 70 to 80,
Correct.
because it's getting down to where most Joe Blow can afford it.
Yeah, our tandems right now, when we sell our tandems, we're getting 60,000 for them.
Mhm.
With all the plow equipment, everything on it.
Nice, I mean,
And they're
those are
tandems.
desirable trucks.
But how old are?
Quad axles, yes, that's the universal truck right
Yeah,
now.
Are they all automatics? Are they automatics or,
Yes.
so all them quads are automatics, okay, which costs quite a bit too.
Correct.
So the option 1, is that even close to like we trade in the John Deere skid steers every year? It's kind of a price that could look like we got a lot of the same items in here, like, there's so much, you can only go 100,000 miles to get this.
So that's a different program. So like I said,
Is it somewhat similar or not at all?
it's similar, I would say, but it's not based on an hourly rate like we do with our skid steers.
Okay,
This is basically,
You're buying it.
you're buying it, this is what your end payment is gonna be if you
Yeah,
want them,
yeah.
keep them. We have the option, it's kind of like almost like an enterprise.
Yeah, it's.
so like the
Lease
skid
type
steer,
of
Type deal.
we're just leasing them basically, our skid
We,
steers,
no,
we're buying them outright?
those skid steers we own, we are just trading them in every year for an hourly rate. Same with these quads, we own them. We physically own them, but we have the option to trade them in and continue doing what we're doing.
Okay,
Because 5 years ago, we didn't have, I don't remember how, $921,000. County didn't have that.
Mhm.
So that's the way we spread it out over a 5-year period to pay it off.
okay.
It's basically what we did.
Do you know what the hourly rate is on those skid steers?
$8.
$8?
That's cheap.
I know. Well aware.
Trade your stuff off $3, you know?
And nobody else can match it or do it. That's, and
Yeah,
like I
you
said, it's
can't. That's just unbelievable.
it's a benefit for the county and I think it's a benefit for John Deere.
Mhm.
So how did that work with the burnt up one?
Insurance paid.
So insurance paid for that, we had to pay the deductible. So
So then you didn't trade that one in?
we did not trade that one in.
Okay. All right.
We actually lost money on that one. Because what we trade them in for our hourly rate is actually less than our $5,000 deductible
Mhm.
that we had to pay, unfortunately.
Are you restricted then on a number of hours for those skid steers? Because they want to have a certain
They-
hours when they sell them for
They
second hand.
want to have 500 hours or less.
Oh, okay.
And I would say on average, what we do is right around 400 for a lot of those skid steers.
So it works out
There might
really
be
good.
one that might be 520, and the other one might be
Okay.
400. But
Do we need to make a choice on this today or
No.
nothing?
I just wanted to bring
Put
this
that
to your
okay.
attention
Yeah.
Okay.
of what's happening.
Yeah.
I
I definitely like to say option one. I still think we might have to keep on a couple years before we trade another one or two
Yeah.
hands, so.
I mean,
Just budgetary wise.
Well, I think selling them one or two at a time is gonna bring our
Yeah.
best money to it.
Yes, I
Get the
do
new one
too.
here and then sell it.
I guess what are your thoughts on if option two, if we would stay at the same payments we're making now? Where we're paying $100,000 a year.
And brand new trucks in. You know,
Then
My ultimate goal is that's what I'm trying to work international to do, but I can't guarantee that.
I think,
Balloon
I
payment.
think if that could happen, we would roll
balloon
over,
payment at
wouldn't we?
10K.
I would be more interested in
Yeah,
that. But if
I
the
would as
balloon
well.
payment just skyrockets, I don't know if that's gonna be the answer.
But
It all depends on the
we can-
payment and
We
the
can
balloon
make
payment.
that balloon payment whatever we want it to be, but it's
Based
what
on
our
monthly.
annual monthly
Right.
pay, or
Yeah.
annual payments would
I
be.
still think the 5.89% interest is way too high. 'Cause
Well, I think,
We can get that through the county cheap.
And they
I think-
did say we can go to any bank Dunn County wants.
yeah, so they're.
But then
It does not have to be Santander, it doesn't have to be Wisconsin Credit Union, it can be anything.
Okay, Dan says we got money. we
Yeah,
just do it.
well, I don't have money. I went through the rates. I have a spreadsheet that you'll see at executive later
Yep, yep.
today. That there was 25, essentially debt taken out in the state of Wisconsin by counties. And I mean, you range from 2.91% to 5.4. So, but
Depending
that's
on what your
all,
loan amount is.
that's all, I believe, 10-year bonding. So.
but I think like in Dunn County has a double A, it said, like for ratings, that's a double
We
A
get a
and
little bit
stable.
less than that, but like I said, I still would think option one, unless they really came up with something a lot better, but
Well, if
If
that
they can figure
interest
it out,
rate,
I think that,
yeah, if that interest rate, and those payments would stay similar to what they are now. I guess I'd be leaning that way to replace all five and have, but
Yeah, but 2.5, that's,
even with the risk of a little bit higher balloon payment 5 years from now.
but that might be cheap compared to right now.
Correct. 5 years is a long time
that's
from
only
now.
up,
Look how much is
50,000,
exact 45, yeah,
or yeah,
45,000.
40, yeah.
So,
Yeah, like I said, I just wanted you guys to have
Yeah,
have a
okay.
discussion on this. and-
sounds good, we will.
Okay, we'll keep moving on. I wanted to present this to all of you. You're all invited, if you want to the Wisconsin County Highway Association Summer Road School in Wisconsin Dells. It's June 3rd through the 5th. Isaac and myself are already scheduled to go. We're signed up. They do have a lot of good seminars, presentations. WISDOT will be there. A lot of vendors like International, Monarch, all these other solicitations, contractors will be there. Like I said, if any of you want to attend, please let me know as soon as possible. I believe the deadline is sometime here mid-May before the prices go up. I can't recall what the price is. $200?
It's 180, yeah, I think now for us.
Yeah, to attend. There is obviously, committee members are part of this, WCHA. So right now there's a vice president chair open. That if any of you are interested and want to become a vice chair of the WCHA, to represent the committee member side of things, that's also an option as well. I didn't have that on here, but like I said, I just want you to be aware, you're all invited to come. More than welcome.
So you're talking about these conferences, where is the one in the fall, where like last year went to Baldwin, or like, St. Croix County, what's one's coming up this fall, which county?
So the WCHA does two conferences. They do a winter and a summer, so this is the summer. The winter one, I think, is usually in, what is it, September, October?
October, I think.
The winter,
No, that,
oh, the
I don't
fall
remember
one
when
was
it
in
is.
October.
I thought this
sometime
year
in the
was
fall.
like a 13 county area, whatever.
Yeah, so then we host a west central region, so
Okay.
just
Yeah.
the west central area. That will be in the fall. So there typically was a spring and a fall one. We eliminated it. We're only gonna be doing one in the fall.
Okay,
Last year it was in Pierce County. So each year it rotates.
so what,
So we're doing it in alphabetical order, so I think St. Croix is next.
so which one was last fall we went to St. Croix? What was that one meeting then?
Maybe St. Croix was the one that hosted it last year.
Last year St. Croix hosted it.
Okay,
So
yeah,
it'd be-
Okay,
it
that's
is
what we went
that
to.
is the Wisconsin County Highway
And that's
West
the winter
Central.
one, okay.
Yes.
So
So I'm
alphabetically.
trying to think what's after.
Trempealeau?
Tremple or Taylor.
Oh. Does any of those have a brand new?
I'll know more information.
Okay,
No.
I just kind of curious.
Trempealeau and Taylor, I know they do not have a facility.
No, Trump trying to fix roads.
Trempealeau is a new county building, judicial and.
Yeah, not highway, but.
Not highway, but they spent a pile of money on it.
Yeah, they did.
Like a jail and all that
Yeah.
things, yeah. But yeah, let me know. I can send an email out just to a reminder as well. Last but not least on the commissioner report is our highway financials. This does not have projections on it. I talked to Beata, we're gonna wait till next month. Because unfortunately, we're a month behind. As you can see, this is only January through March. We don't have April's in here. Don't ask me. If we had a different software system. But as you can see, this is the money coming in, money going out. Here's all of our expenses. As you can see, there's not a whole lot here that's alarming or eye-opening, in my opinion here. Until we get into the major construction season.
Yeah.
Which that will start any day now when we start seeing expenses coming off of our B project and all of our projects that we're doing.
Sounds good.
That concludes my report, long-winded report.
I would say so.
I know you keep looking at the clock, but hey.
Next, 7, consideration action taken by committee vouchers first, I guess. What do we, any questions?
If you can see that.
Need a motion first.
I make the motion to accept the vouchers.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion, any questions? They all look okay? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. Number 8, consideration of resolution of the recommended county board budget adjustment list LF8 project. That didn't look good.
What didn't look good?
I don't know, whatever you just hit.
Just close out of my PowerPoint.
Oh, okay. Okay, resolution. Background, Dustin.
So in your packet, it's the last page. So we received funding from WISDOT for local force accounts and LFA to complete some, I gotta refresh my memory what it was for. Bird netting to be installed on the Highway 12 bridge. That was done, I believe, in April or February, March, sometime around there we did. And then also a LFA for culvert cleaning at the I-94 scale. project. So when they started that project, they found that there was a couple culverts that needed to be cleaned out, so we went out there and did that. So the contractor did charge them an arm and a leg. So that's what the resolution is for. It does not affect our county budget or our budget in general.
So what is that, bird netting?
That little mesh stuff.
So you,
What's it supposed to stop, the birds thing?
yeah, so it stops nesting swallows.
Oh, under the
This is
bridges.
their season to start building. So there's gonna be a project happening on that bridge. I don't know what it is, it all entails. The state's taking care of painting, I believe it is. So we had to go install the netting, so there isn't a nest on the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Because if it is, it shuts the project completely down.
Because they can't destroy it?
No, because they're
Oh,
considered endangered.
because you're underneath that bridge at Jake's. If you ever go under there with a pontoon, you look up there and there's quite a few of those little cliff swallows. And their nests are different than a barn swallow.
So that's what we do is so they deter from
Okay.
building a nest. So they
No,
can
when
do
you
their
first
work.
said the bird netting, I said, are you trying to stop them from flying over and hitting the moon vehicle underneath? Not, that makes more sense.
We need a motion on this, we send it to.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made second, any other discussion?
Who seconded?
Sure.
Good motion.
Oh,
I did.
Gary.
Okay, Gary and Jerry.
I started.
The whole meeting.
You guys
Me and Dustin got left out.
Yeah.
Sorry, next meeting I'll make sure.
Oh, yeah.
We'll equalize it out a little
We'll
bit.
see, we'll see.
Any other things that needs to be brought up? The only other thing I had was kind of a request to what you thought about the fairgrounds, the Harry barn for storage versus the hockey association using it. It's 125 by like 220 building.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth exploring.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't either, but we're in talks, so. Okay, otherwise, anybody else? Otherwise, meeting adjourned. Next meeting will be June 12th.
Jerry, this is,